Have you ever felt, just stuck? Like you're stuck in a pattern, repeating the same self-defeating behaviors, even when a part of you knows they aren't working? Well, today we're diving into the brilliant work of psychologist Karen Horney. We're going to figure out why this happens, and maybe more importantly, how we can find our way back to our authentic selves. And really, this is the central question, isn't it? We all develop these little strategies to get through life's challenges. But what Horney asks us to do is to take a hard look and ask, are these things that I think are protecting me actually just boxing me in? So where does all this stuff start? Well, according to Horney, the seeds of our adult struggles, they're often planted way back in our early years. They grow out of this fundamental conflict we all experience as kids. Now, Horney uses the word neurosis to talk about this state. And look, it's not about being crazy or anything like that. It's just a way of saying, hey, there's an internal conflict from your past that hasn't been resolved, and it is still powerfully and a lot of times unconsciously calling the shots today. Right, so this tension from childhood, it doesn't just sit there quietly. It creates this urgent, internal pressure cooker. We feel like we have to do something to solve it, to find some way to feel safe and okay. And this, right here, is where our coping strategies are born. Horney basically identified 3 main strategies, or what she called neurotic trends, that people tend to adopt to deal with this core conflict. You can think of them as 3 different paths we might take, all in the name of finding some relief. And these paths are really all about how we orient ourselves to other people. We might become a total people pleaser, always moving toward others. Or we could become aggressive, competitive, always moving against them. Or maybe we just withdraw, seek isolation, moving away from everyone. Now, this is what's so fascinating, and frankly, so sneaky about all this. We rationalize these behaviors. We don't see our compulsive need for everyone's approval as a problem. We tell ourselves, oh, I'm just a loving person. We don't see our aggressive need to win at all costs as a defense mechanism. We call it mastery or ambition. And our retreat from the world, that's not isolation, that's freedom. It's this rebranding that makes these patterns so incredibly hard to spot in ourselves. So here's the big paradox. These strategies, they feel like solutions. They absolutely give us some temporary relief from the anxiety. But in the long run, they trap us. They don't actually resolve the original conflict. They just put a lid on the anxiety it causes. Horney had this amazing metaphor for it, a neurotic spiral. See, every time we lean on our go-to trend, we actually move a little further away from who we really are. This just reinforces the original problem, which makes us even more dependent on that faulty solution. It's a vicious, self-perpetuating cycle. In this slide, this really gets to the absolute heart of the struggle. It's the battle between our real self, our authentic, sometimes messy, potential-filled core, and this idealized self-image we create. This idealized self is the perfect, flawless, almost godlike version of ourselves that we think we should be. It's the person our neurotic trend promises we can become if we just try hard enough. And because of that, we become so deeply invested in this idealized image. Giving that up feels like a total catastrophe, like admitting failure. We cling to our coping strategies for dear life because they feel like the only way to become that perfect self, even when they're making us miserable. Okay, so if the problem is basically abandoning our real self in pursuit of some perfect fake version, what's the solution? Well, for Horney, the whole goal of therapy is to find our way back home, back to the real self. But listen, Horney's approach isn't about some quick fix or magic pill. It's a gradual process. It's a journey of growth toward what she called self-realization, which is really just a fancy way of saying becoming more fully and authentically who you already are. This whole journey really involves 3 huge shifts. First, you have to let go of that impossible, perfect version of yourself. Second, you've got to stop the relentless search for glory that keeps you chasing it. And finally, and this is the big one, you have to learn to replace the self-hatred you feel for not being perfect with a genuine acceptance of who you actually are, flaws and all. And Horney was so clear about this critical point. You can't just read a book about this and be cured. She insisted that real, genuine change only comes from an emotional experience of understanding. You have to feel the truth of it deep in your bones, not just know it in your head. So how do we get there? How do we arrive at that deeper emotional kind of understanding? Well, Horney adapted some classic therapeutic techniques to help people on this journey of self-analysis. 2 of the main tools in her toolkit were dream interpretation and free association. She saw dreams not as just random brain noise, but as the mind's genuine attempt to work through its conflicts. And free association, just saying whatever comes to mind without censoring yourself, can start to reveal the hidden machinery of that idealized self-image that's running in the background. I just love this quote from Horney. It really captures the magic of this process, right? Dreams give us this little window, this glimpse into our own unique inner world, a world that is way more true to how we really feel than the illusions we build for ourselves when we're awake. So, ultimately, the goal of using these tools is to pull back the curtain. They're designed to expose that idealized self we're all chasing, and to make us finally see, consciously, all the ways our neurotic trends are failing to get us there. And when this process is successful, wow, the change is profound. It's not about becoming some brand new person. It's about finally becoming the person you were all along. So success looks like this. You actually understand what you feel and what you want. You connect with people authentically, not because you need something from them. Your work becomes meaningful for its own sake, not just a way to chase glory. And maybe most importantly, you take ownership of your own growth. You're in the driver's seat. And this is the truly hopeful heart of Horney's entire message. She believed that every single one of us has a natural, built-in drive toward health and growth, what she called an inherent curative force. Once we clear away all that neurotic clutter through self-understanding, this force can finally take over and guide us back to our real self. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this powerful question to think about. In your daily choices, in the way you talk to yourself, in the goals you set, which self are you spending your energy nurturing? The impossible, idealized version you think you should be, or the authentic, real self that's just waiting to be discovered?